What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, man, back at it with another video. And today we're doing yet another toxic tier list ranking. And today we're doing a tier list ranking of ranking all the live-action video game adaptation... Well, not live-action. All the video game adaptation movies that I've...
and TV shows.
Be ranking them from the worst to the best. But before we get into actual beginning of the video itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, absolutely free. Number two, also maybe able to YouTube algorithm recommend it to more people, and maybe they could join that jocks. And do feel free to comment as well. With that being said, guys, let's go into here. And before we go into here are the tiers we have. So we have best of the best, which means they are perfect live action video game, or sorry, I keep on saying live action, my bad. Perfect video game adaptations. Great means they come close to best of the best, but there's like a minor flaw holding them back. Toxic goodness means it was a solid video game adaptation. Wait, what? Hold on. There you go. Decent means overall, yeah, it was quite decent, but still had a couple of issues. Okay, was overall mixed bag. I didn't know necessarily how to feel about it. And then toxic trash means dumpster fire. The worst video game adaptations there are. So, as you guys can see right here, this is the tier of movies I have not seen. So, I will not be reviewing those, unfortunately. And also, there's two movies that aren't on here. But, if I put the files in there with the new photos, it'll make you guys not see this video. So, we actually have three. And I'll be talking about those first, the ones that aren't actually here. So the first one that I was going to talk about is Angry Birds. So, like, the first Angry Birds. I've not seen the second movie, but I've seen the first movie. And the first Angry Birds, I'll go decent or okay. I would have to think about it where logistically I would want to put it. Because overall, though, I've only seen the movie, like, once, and it was fine to me. It was alright. So, I'll put it probably decent. There was also a Ratchet and Clank movie, which I bet a whole bunch of you just went like, what? There was a Ratchet and Clank movie? Which I don't blame you. It came out, like, 2015 or something like that. And, do I think okay or toxic trash? I think it was okay. It's more directed towards kids, so kids probably would enjoy it a little bit more, but overall, very forgettable video game movie. And also, the latest addition to this list, that being Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I would put in the great tier. I think that's easily my favorite out of the Sonic trilogy, and I thought that was a really great film. The only thing holding it back is it did feel like a little too jokey at times, but other than that, I had a blast with it. And, yeah, so those are the movies that aren't on this tier list. And also later this year, there are movies coming out that I might redo this list again, because this year we got the Until Dawn movie coming out. We have Five Nights at Freddy's 2. There's other adaptations out there, too. Oh, Last of Us Season 2, as well, comes out, like, in 2 months, which is crazy. So, anyways, let's just get right to it. Alright, so we have Arcane League of Legends, and I would just like to point out, for a bunch of these on the list, I've not played the actual games, besides a couple. Arcane League of Legends, never played the game, but I thought this show was best of the best. There's a funny story with this one, where my friends kept on trying to get me to watch the show, and I was going like, do I really want to watch it? And I will admit, it was, like, for the first season, don't get me wrong, I still thought it was an awesome season. However, like, the first 2 episodes of the show, I felt as if I was kind of watching a kid's show. But then after that, when you go into episode 3, then it really starts to pick up and go and make it feel like it's not a kids movie anymore, kids TV show anymore, which I was happy about. So then I thoroughly enjoyed the rest of the season. And season 2, arguably for me, I think that was even better than season 1. Because season 1 was more like about the world building and everything going on. And then season 2, I would say, is more the payoff and the action sequences. So, great characters in there. You got Jinx, you got Vi, you got Echo, which he was a very underrated character. I wish I saw more of him in season 2, but it is what it is. And Heimerdinger was cool as well. So yeah, Arcane League of Legends, best of the best. And I bet if my friends were watching this and if I didn't put it best of the best, they would have probably screamed their heads off at me. Anyways, they're probably watching the video right now, and I had no clue it was based off a video game. So, all right, next up we have Detective Pikachu, or Pikachu, if you will, because I heard that term go around once. Detective Pikachu. This is really tough for me because I've only seen this movie once, and I really enjoyed my time with it. You know what? I'll put it great. I think that the whole entire world with the Pokemon and the CGI for the Pokemon were actually really, really good for this film. Ryan Reynolds is a good voice actor for Pikachu. That was really fun. And I like the friendship he has with, I forgot what the actor's name was, but the guy from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the relationship them two have, I thought was really strong and a very interesting twist at the end of the movie. So, yeah, overall it was really good. I liked that one quite a bit. Next up, we got the Super Mario Brothers movie, which a second movie should be coming out next year, I think. This was... I'll put this one in decent. I thought it was decent. I can't go... Because, first off, I know this is blasphemous to say. I've only probably played the Super Mario Kart. That's the only game I've played of Mario. So, and a few years ago, I didn't even know who Mario was. So, just would like to put that out. But, overall, it was decent. I think it was, definitely for the fans. Some good animation, and I think this is easily one of Illumination's best movies, which, again, isn't a high bar, but I still thought this was fun and very watchable. So, and the voice acting was pretty good too. Maybe besides Chris Pratt as Mario and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, but other than that, I thought Anya Taylor-Joy did a good job as Princess Peach. Jack Black as Bowser. Peaches, 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 peaches was, of course, the classic song there, and as well. You had Charlie Day in here as Luigi, which I thought he was great in that role too, and I thought he was perfect fan cast. So hopefully this time around for the second movie they go more like because one of my issues that I had with this film is it was a little fast paced, but then again it is a kids movie. So hopefully the second movie doesn't feel as fast paced and the story is like a little better. But other than that, still had a decent time with the Super Mario Brothers movie, so it goes in decent. Next up, we got Tomb Raider, the one from 2018. And you know, I think this one is really underrated. I barely hear anybody talk about this film. So, again, I hate to be a broken record, haven't played in the Tomb Raider games. But I thought this one, from seeing people play the Tomb Raider games, this one definitely captured the game the best, and I rarely hear anyone talk about it. I thought the main lead actress that played Lara Croft in this did good. I liked the villain, and some overall really good sequences in here. So, yeah, you know, do I go Toxic Goodness? Yeah, I'll go Toxic Goodness. I can't go great yet, because I do think there were some moments that were slow, but other than that, I thought that was really underrated. All right, next up we got, I'll go in order here, even though I already talked about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I'll go... Toxic Goodness. Because overall, it does do... For this one, it has a bunch of the same plot points as other movies with the whole entire road trip concept. But to be fair, you get a lot of Sonic in this film instead of a lot of the human characters, which was good. I think the CGI for Sonic was really good. I'm glad they didn't go with the ugly Sonic design because, my goodness, James Marsden did really good in this. And, yeah, overall, some pretty decent humor. So, yeah, I thought it was really fun, so I'll put it there. Next up, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I think this is even better than the first one. I can't say it's better than 3, but I'll put it in the great tier, probably the back of the great tier, because the only issue I had is this one focused on the human characters more than the first and third film. But other than that, we had a fun time with it. Knuckles was a great new addition, and Tails was also a fun new addition as well. And lots of fun video game action sequences, particularly the one with Sonic going down the mountain. So I'll put that there. All right. Next up, we have The Last of Us. So I love The Last of Us game. That is my second favorite video game of all time, right behind Walking Dead, the Telltale series. And to me, I thought the show was even better than the first video game. And I love the first video game. I think that's flawless. And I think this show was really good, too. I loved pretty much everything about it. I think all the casting was great, especially Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey. Or is it Ramsley or Ramsey? As Ellie, I thought they both did fantastic in the two main lead roles. I think all the characters in this show that you kind of didn't really care for in the first game, I think they fleshed out where you do care for them. For example, like Bill, I didn't care for Bill in the first game, but in this one, I really sympathize with them in that tragic third episode that they had. Tess also is developed pretty well in here too, and even characters that you liked in the first game as well get developed even more in here, like Sam and Henry, which they made that episode even more tragic than the video game. And if you've seen me play The Last of Us Remastered video game, you know that part made me made me really sad. So, and the way they topped that, man. And I will say overall, if there was like kind of a negative, and it's not really negative, it's more a mixed aspect. There's parts in this series where I do think like the game did that part better, but other than that, still really good show. So Last of Us goes into best of the best. Cannot wait for season 2, and easily my most anticipated TV show of 2025. So yeah, I just talked about that one way too long, didn't I? Oh wait, what? Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. I didn't see that one. So yeah, I haven't seen that one either. Next up, we got Lara Croft Tomb Raider, the one with Angelina Jolie. I've only seen the first film, haven't seen the second one. It's okay. This was, I think, I don't know the time frame this came out, but the first game probably came out quicker. First game came out a little before this, probably. And it's okay. It's just a generic action movie, in my opinion. I think this one right here does a lot more things like the games that are better than this one, unfortunately. But other than that, thought it was fine. It was fine. It was okay. Uncharted. This one's a tough one for me. I'll put it at the back of decent. It's very close to okay, though, I will admit. And to be fair, the first time I saw this movie, I did not have the best circumstances. That's all I'll say when I saw the movie, because it was a very awkward theater experience. That's all I'll say. But other than that, thought it was decent enough the first time. And even though it's not really Uncharted at all. And then I got the opportunity to see it a second time, and yeah, I still thought it was decent too, but still had quite a few issues, and I think the two main leads, Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, were miscast in the two main lead roles. I think Mark Wahlberg should have been Nathan Drake instead of Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong, Tom Holland's great actor, but he was miscast as like a young Nathan Drake, and I think Mark Wahlberg would have killed it as Nathan Drake in this film. But yeah, he doesn't capture the essence of Sully. Some very fun action sequences, though, are particularly later on in the film with the pirate ship sequence. I thought that one was quite fun. And if you take it as a generic action movie, it's fine in that. It's entertaining. So I'll put that at the back of decent. Gran Turismo And so this is not only just a video game movie, this is also based on a true story too, which is a very interesting concept for a video game movie. And I think I'll put this at right second place in the great tier. Originally I gave this a B plus. Nowadays I would probably give it A minus. I thought this was really good performances by our main lead in here. I forgot what his name was, but he was really good in here. David Harbour had a really good performance as well. Orlando Bloom was fun. The car racing sequences were cool, especially how it transitioned between parts of the game and then how do I say it? It shows parts of the video game, then it transitions back to real life, and I thought the way they did that was really, really cool, especially for the racing sequences. So, if I had any issues, it's just two relationships in the movie, particularly with the main character's love interest. I don't know if I've said particularly. What I say? I'm sorry if I said particularly. A few too many times now. Anyways, But the relationship with her, I feel like could have been developed more, and especially I think they could have developed the relationship between him and his father a little bit more. And so yeah, other than that, that was great, especially after rewatching it. Next up, we got Five Nights at Freddy's, which is very divisive. I think most video game fans liked it the most. But I know audiences that have never played the game were not a fan of it. I'll put this at the top of Toxic Goodness. I thought this was really fun. I had a really good theater experience with this one. I saw this with my two best friends, Jackson Ace, and we all thought it was quite good. I overall didn't think it was perfect though. I do think the relationship with the whole entire brother storyline in this one, where Josh Hutcherson's looking for his brother, I wasn't too big of a fan of. Well, other than that, I thought the animatronics for the actual Freddy Fazbear, Chica, Foxy, and I think the animatronics and the suits were really good in this. And also had some pretty decent PG-13 kills. Again, not too gruesome, but there were some pretty decent ones in there that I thought I was pretty shocked by that they let it slide. And overall, it was just for the fans. And it was cool to see Corey X. Ketchen and Matt Pat in there. And can't wait for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 this year. And hopefully, this time around, they take a lot of criticisms of the first film and improve on those for the second film. Because I still thought it was really good. It's just the whole entire brother storyline I was a little on. And also, I was a little odd on Vanessa. I didn't know necessarily how to feel about that. Prince of Persia. Again, a movie I've not seen in a very, very long time. But, I thought the action sequences were the best part. The acting was okay. But it was alright. That's all I remember of the movie, basically. It was alright. Jake Gyllenhaal did good, though. And Ben Kingsley was a decent enough villain, so, yeah, there's that. Next up we have Rampage, and I think this is the definition of toxic goodness. I thought this was really fun. I think the actual action sequences with all the animals in here were awesome in this movie. The action sequences. It's just overall very fun blockbuster. The Rock does play the same character over again, which is a little bit of a bummer, but he did decent enough in here with that particular role that he's very famous for playing. As I said before, the action sequences are good, and also some pretty decent humor in there. So I'll put that in Toxic Goodness. Monster Hunter. So this is a game I've actually played, and I watched this for the first time like probably last year, maybe a year before that, where my buddy Ace showed me it, because me and him played the games, and I had no clue there was a Monster Hunter movie, and he decided to show it to me, and I don't know, decent or toxic goodness? Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the top of decent for now. The issues I had with it is so for the first half of the movie, it was not in the whole entire Monster Hunter world, which I was a little bummed about because, as I said before, I played the game, so I know what the world looks like. So they were kind of just in the desert, which was a little bit of a bummer. But other than that, when you get introduced to the one character from the game, that was cool to see him. So I was going like, okay, yeah, at least they incorporated one thing from the game into this. And after that, they actually do eventually get into the world that is from the game, which there kind of made me a little bit happier. So, but yeah, pretty. And I think the CGI for the monsters were actually pretty good in this. So I'll put that at toxic goodness. No, decent. Top decent. Next up, we have Borderlands, and you thought, I bet all of you were thinking, oh, he's not gonna put any of them in toxic trash. Nope. Borderlands Toxic Trash, one of the top 10 worst movies of last year. Originally, when I saw it, I was going, eh. It was just eh. But having thought about the movie over, I was going, and I was supposed to review it. I was trying to think of positives for the movie. I could barely come up with any. The only thing I said that this did decent on was the production design, because it kind of looked like Borderlands. And then also, most people were annoyed by I almost said Robin Williams. Jack Black as Claptrap, but I thought he was one of the more enjoyable parts about the movie. But other than that, Eli Roth, I don't think fits this at all. He should probably just stick to horror movies. The CGI, green screen, terrible. The dialogue, terrible. And how could they mess this up with all the cast that they have? They have, why am I blanking out? Jamie Lee Curtis. They have Kevin Hart. They have Jack Black. They have, main actress, I forgot what her name was. But they botched it. They totally botched it. And hopefully Jack Black as Steve for the Minecraft movie that comes out in like 2 months is let's hope he actually gets a good video game adaptation. That one's not bad either. So yeah, but not very good first impressions from those trailers, I'll tell you. So that's pretty much all the things that I can all the video game movies I can come up with. Am I forgetting some? Wreck-It Ralph doesn't count because actually, is it based off a video game? Because if Wreck-It Ralph counts the first movie, then I would easily put that best of the best. That is my favorite animated movie of all time. Love the heck out of Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I can think of, really. And Tron's kinda in that range too. So, but ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on all the video games movies I've seen from the worst to the best. Be sure to let me know your list down below. I will definitely be watching the Mortal Kombat movies building up to the newest film coming out this year. So I'll probably update this a little later on this year with the newer video game movies coming out. And also let me know if you guys like this concept for a video coming up soon, where maybe I rank, do a tier list ranking basing off how I would like, how do I say it? But how do you guys like this idea of me doing a tier list ranking of video games and me ranking them on how I would, if I would want to see them made into a live action adaptation or not? Dang it, that took a lot out of me. Anyways, but with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.